I don't know. Yeah.
I will call this meeting of the Bellmead City Council to order on Tuesday, August 12th, 2025 at 6:31 PM. For the record, all council members are present. We will begin this meeting with the invocation, and I will ask Charlie Morgan if he will come up and lead us in prayer and Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Dear Father in heaven, we come before you tonight again with thankful hearts, thanking you for the gift of your Son to be our Savior. We ask for your guidance and your blessings on this city council, on the city of Bellmead, state of Texas, United States, and our world. You know the conditions that we're living in. We ask for you to guide, bless, and direct us. Also be with our first responders and our military as they serve every day to protect us. We ask that everything we do would be to bring honor and glory to your holy name. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Next is acknowledgement of guests and visitors and public comment. This time is for citizens to address the city council on issues and items of concern that are not on the agenda. Citizens will be allowed a comment time on any requested agenda item. There will be no city council discussion or action at this time, and there is a time limit of 3 minutes per person. Personal attacks on council or staff will not be tolerated. Doing so will forfeit your remaining time. Persons engaged in disruptive behavior will be escorted from the meeting. Have I received all comment cards from those who would like to address the council? As I call your name, please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record, and then you will have 3 minutes to speak. Amber Halliburton.
Good evening. My name is Amber Halliburton. I live at 4743 Bellmead Drive here in Bellmead. I'm here tonight about Senate Bill 785, signed into law this year and effective September 1st. This bill fundamentally changes how Texas municipalities can regulate manufactured housing, and Bellmead will be out of compliance. Senate Bill 785 is clear. Municipalities shall permit new HUD code manufactured homes in residential areas. Cities may not unreasonably restrict to their installation and cannot prohibit them from all residential zoning districts. Bellmead's current ordinances do exactly what this law forbids. We have banned manufactured homes from all residential areas, restricting them to only a small, specific geographic area within the industrial zone near TSTC. This violates both the new state law and constitutional principles established in cases like TMHA v. Netherland, where courts ruled exclusionary zoning unconstitutional. This geographic segregation violates the equal protection clauses by treating housing differently based solely on construction method. It's housing discrimination disguised as zoning policy, denying families affordable home ownership opportunities while perpetuating outdated stereotypes about manufactured housing. The housing crisis is real, and the facts are undeniable. We all have the right to affordable housing, and Bellmead's current ordinances create an illegal housing apartheid system. This isn't just bad policy, it's discriminatory and unconstitutional. Most individuals and young families can't afford $300,000 starter homes. Manufactured housing offers quality, affordable home ownership. Your staff's lack of knowledge about SB 785 is concerning. I contacted Mr. Bill Hunt about the new bill signed by the governor on June 22nd. He admitted he didn't know about it, but surmised that the current ordinances would remain compliant. I don't think that they do. He said he would look into it and get with his boss And when my husband followed up with Mr. Fred Morris a week later, we got the same response. He didn't know about it, but he'd look into it. This concerns me deeply. How can a city enforce housing laws when staff aren't aware of major legislative changes affecting their jurisdiction? Council members, I ask you to lead proactively. Direct staff to draft compliant ordinances immediately. Show leadership instead of resistance. Texas has spoken. Manufactured homes deserve equal treatment. The question now is whether Bellmead will embrace the future or be dragged into it through litigation. Make no mistake, this law has teeth, and property owners have enforceable rights. Thank you.
Thank you. Linda Robinson.
My name is Linda Robinson, and I live at 1312 Saratoga. When I drive along Concord, as I understand it, that's a city right-of-way along both sides. Some of the grass is like up to here, and it needs to be mowed. There's another street that one of the other people told me called Cove, and it also needs to be mowed. And I'm sure that there's other city rights-of-way that need to be mowed, but it's just getting out of hand. Just, when grass is taller than I am, that's bad. And that's all I have to say. Oh, yeah, one other thing. I found out that the right-of-way that goes along the side of my house, it's a ditch. The houses on my side of the street are on a slight incline, and we're on the corner, and there's a ditch that goes down to where the road, there's a little bridge, and it's a concrete drainage ditch. That's where all the water goes into. And I found out that it's a city right-of-way, but we have to maintain it. And I never heard of such a thing in my entire life, where a property owner has to maintain city property. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Thank you for your comments. Council and city manager reports.
Mr. Mayor, let me go through these as quickly as possible. I know I've got a lot of updates. The first one is disappointing. I'm sure you've heard about it, which was literally about 2 weeks after we spent thousands of dollars regarding a Texas Parks and Wildlife grant to completely remodel the bathrooms at Brain Park. Someone chose to go in and completely vandalize them with spray paint. So they are currently closed until we literally get them fixed. We'll do our best to get them fixed as quickly as possible. Repairs are going to probably cost somewhere in the $3,000 to $5,000 range unless we completely have to redo everything. I also want to update you on the kitchen and various remodeling that's going on. The Civic Center kitchen has been pretty well updated. Well, let me back up. Let me show you. I think you've all seen these pictures, haven't you? I sent you copies of them. It's just, it's sickening to see what someone chose to do. And yeah, so. All right, update. The kitchen has been pretty much, hasn't been touched in probably 25 years at the Civic Center. So we are closing, and we have blocked all reservations from January 26th till March 8th, and we will use that time period to remodel the kitchen, completely bring it up to code, up to compliance with new cabinets, repair the plumbing issues, and then we will also update the bathrooms and the bridal room, which again have not been touched in many, many years, and we have the funds to do that, and we'll bring that back to council for final action. The Civic Center, we also are just planning for the years ahead. I want you to start thinking, we own quite a bit of property to the northeast of the Civic Center, and that would be ideal in the future if we chose to expand, because there are many events that we have to turn down that we're big, but we're not big enough to host those events. We don't have any desire to compete with anything such as a convention center, but something between what we have and what the convention center would be ideal, just for you to start thinking about that in the future. TCEQ, we have submitted the final, requests, documentation. It's about a 62-page document, I believe, to the TCEQ to allow us start, as they would call, disturbing the earth or moving dirt. So that's very exciting. And the next item directly relates to that. We should have some final drawings for you to look at for the new Public Works building. Hopefully, ideally in September, but we're pretty certain we'll be able to have you something to look at in October. And once you've seen that, we will then have the contractors and the engineers prepared for bidding. Update on the Laclede intersection. If you have not seen it, we're extremely proud of how that was done. That was done very well. They have completed the striping. And if you notice, there's something new that we're going to, we're placing concrete around the manholes. The purpose of that is that will protect the manholes in the long run. And with every car that goes over those, you're pressing down, and concrete tends to protect them much better. So you will start seeing concrete. I've asked for them to look at this, and the results came back very favorable. You'll see that around all new construction with any concrete, any gates, valves, or sewer manholes, you will see concrete around them. When you do microsurfacing, that does not afford us that opportunity, but for all new street construction, that is the way we will go, and I think it protects the long tenure of the street. Next item on the some through that. Next item is TxDOT has started the resurfacing, and that's going to go on for several months, and that's going to require constant updates. As I get those updates on rerouting of traffic on Bellmead Drive, I will keep you in the loop. We started negotiations with our current waste provider, Frontier, and I hope to be able to bring you back a very, very favorable contract to just renew the contract with them, and hopefully by October. We're in the midst of going back and forth now. And then I know I sent this to you, but also the Water Company of America is auditing our accounts. So they have letters from the city, and they have actual ID cards. So if you get a call, they are legitimate. They are actually working for the city. The last item I would really like to get your input on, and it really sums down to really one basic question so we can move forward. And with that, I'm going to ask Mr. Fred Morris. I'll give you the pointer, and then you can hand it off to Ms. Evans afterwards. I am no longer needed.
Good evening, council. Sometimes they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, so I've got a few little short slides here. Being this is city manager's time, we'll keep it brief. This is just an intro slide this is our little conversation about carports. There's a couple of pics that we snapped. These aren't great because we took them from the vehicle and it was kind of raining that day, but they come in, you can just drive around town. You can see all kinds of carports. You can see very well considered ones that are well constructed, and you can see some that are PVC pipe with some plastic over the top of them. Currently, our ordinance prohibits carports in front yards in R1, R1A, and R2 on that map. That's the green color. That is a very small area in the south of town that's R1A, and then kind of the pinkish color that's R2. So it's a good percentage of the community where those are prohibited. We checked with some of our surrounding communities. If you're in McGregor, you can put a carport, but it has to be behind the 25-foot front setback. If you're in Robinson, it has to be in the rear half of the lot. Waco, it can be on the side yard or the rear yard. In Belton, has to be behind the front setback line. And in Temple, they have to be in the rear half of the lot. If you are considering allowing carports, we put together some basic recommendations that we would look to maybe include in an ordinance if that's the route you want to go. That would be a 10-foot front. That's from the property line, not the back of the curb, but from the property line, because there's going to be water and sewer behind the curb. 5-foot side yard setback, no encroachments into easements, open on all sides, not enclosed, no power, only vehicles. We don't want, and no storage, no boxes and totes and stuff like that. Got to meet building codes, so that would prevent portable type ones. Maximum size, 24 by 24, basically 2 cars. Maximum height on them, 12 foot, and only 1 per lot. Comes down to the simple question, does council want to allow carports in the front yard? Yes or no, we can go either direction for you. We're just asking for your discussion tonight. Thank you much. I'll turn it back over to the boss.
We just want to hear from you. We can build anything you want, but just tell us what you want. I think Karen's going to be up next with a budget.
I don't know. We discussed that one other time before. I think about 3 or 4 council meetings back, and I think property owners should be able to their property, they should be able to do what they want to do with their property. But I think it needs to be some uniform stipulations, like Fred was saying, that it could be uniformed and monitored, and we enforce that.
Sure.
So I'm open. The first time I was against, because I was doing off Fred's recommendation back then. It would take a lot, but at this point, it's to the whatever the councilors want to do. I'm in agreement as long as we have those stipulations in place.
I agree with that too. Stipulations, regulations on how they're built, not no thrown together Harbor Freight carports, but some well-constructed carports that can help protect these $70, $80, $100,000 vehicles.
And I am fully aware that I can speak for the 6 of you, I think. I am fully aware that you're getting phone calls where people want them and people don't want them. Welcome to my world every day. That's why I'm deferring this decision to you, because we will do what you want. We work for you. So we're perfectly good with that. I'm perfectly fine.
Yeah, I haven't received any phone calls, but I know it's going to be, it's not going to, you're not going to satisfy everybody 100%, and that's why we were elected to, make those decisions.
I just feel like, we make a lot of decisions for the citizens. And the last time we went down this road, there was a survey done with the citizens, not the city council. So what happened with going to the citizens to decide if they want carports or not carports? Because we all know that everybody's not going to abide by the rules. I just showed y'all pictures today where we already have these carports up where people are using them for open sheds in the front yard. So how are we going to eliminate some of these issues and problems that we're already having with regulating these carports and putting these carports up, and what kind of fabric they use? Are we going to have them take the carports down if they don't get permits? Are they just going to get a fine or just a little tap on the wrist? How are we going to regulate these carports?
You're referring to the new ones that go up?
The new ones that go up, because we already have issues with the old ones.
Yes. We have made more than one person go to court and take a carport down. We've done that already a couple of times. Have we caught all of them? No, we have not. But if we catch them, we can either make them take it down or bring it into compliance. If we make them take it down, it has to go through the court. That way they have their day in court. But if they put it up without a permit, Mr. Morris, I'm not going to speak for your folks, but I'm assuming that if we get a complaint where somebody's put one up without a permit, just as we do now, we go out and we red tag it and we put a stop work order. If they continue to work, then we take them to court. Am I stating that correctly? That's what I've seen so far. If you want to just correct me on that one.
Yes, sir. It would be just like somebody putting up a fence without a permit or building any kind of addition or something like that without a permit. It would be the standard enforcement process from the building official, code enforcement officer.
I got a question. We know we did a survey one time, right? It was done on Facebook.
Right.
Did we ever go back, and I know we discussed having a survey that could be more of a valid, could get a true response, true survey. And I think someone mentioned about putting it in the water bill or something like that. Did we ever go back and do that?
Didn't you do a Survey Monkey, if I remember correctly, Ms. Evans?
We did do a survey through SurveyMonkey. It was attached through social media. There was a link in the water bills. But we didn't have a whole lot of feedback from the citizens.
A lot of people didn't even know that had happened. I was one of them. I don't do Facebook, so I missed that. So a lot of people did not know that was out there for surveys to be done.
Yeah, I don't know what we can do about that. We only have so many avenues to get the word out. Can you turn the microphones up? It's on.
And that was the second one, right?
Yeah, that was the
First
second
one. Okay, we'll
The
discuss.
first one I posted on Bellmead Citizens myself, just getting a consensus from the citizens seeing about going. And then I remember that next meeting when we brought it up, we talked about, and Ms. Evans ran one through the city themselves.
Well, I know you said we had a little feedback, but what kind of feedback did we get, if you remember?
It wasn't
What was
very
it?
much.
I think there were maybe 200, 300 people responded, if I remember correctly. I
how
think it
many-
was it pretty evenly split? I don't recall. to
I
be
can't recall the
honest.
results because that was back in October, November of last year when y'all did that.
But I can definitely go pull those back up and send it back out to all of,
That'll be, I'd like to take a look at it. I mean, we discussed it. And you said it was linked to the water bill also?
yes, sir, we sent it out through, we put a link, website, put a link, we sent it out through Facebook, LinkedIn, and we did put a notice on the water bills.
A notice to how to access that link?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll put a note to,
Would you have another copy of this?
Yeah, Shannon can get you another copy.
I didn't see what it was.
The
He didn't get one.
they can have mine if I don't have. You got one?
Yes.
Okay. So do you want us to bring you back a draft? Do you?
I would like to see a draft on what can be proposed and written for it.
I have a question. The questionnaire that you sent us, how many of those did you get back?
These.
Huh?
The carport survey, how many
Oh,
did you get back?
So far, I've got one. I got 4 back. I have 1 pending. So I got a total of at least 4.
Yeah, I didn't do mine because I expressed my opinion at the first meeting. But like I said, whatever the council, whether the council wants to do, I'm fine with that. But I think the draft would be.
I would like to see a draft
Okay.
and make some type of decision on what we're going to allow the citizens to put up.
And yeah, okay, we can do that. We will have. I think we'll do our best to try to get a draft to you at the next meeting. If not, we'll definitely get it to you by the October meeting.
Thank you.
This is complicated.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And I had a quick report before we go forward on the agenda. I just want to let on the July the 27th, I was walking through my neighborhood, Colonial Estates, and I noticed there was water that was standing on the corner of Liberty and Brandywine. And the neighbor came out and he told me that it had been standing for about 2 weeks. And so I introduced myself, told him who I was, and I was a representative for that area, and I would make a phone call and did that, and it was done efficiently and it was rectified. So the neighbors were real satisfied. So I guess that would go to Public Works.
Yeah, that was Charles Bird is not here, but that's our new interim director. He seems to take council input really seriously. I thought I was the only one besides me and Karen and the other directors, but the new guy, I mean, right now, I'm good with directors. I'm really good with directors. They understand you're getting pressure, and when I get pressure, it kind of goes downhill. So they respond very quickly. But thank you for saying that, because I can honestly say they appreciate the positive feedback from any of you more than you can ever imagine. Because if you think you're getting beat up, these employees are getting beat every day. Every day. So thank you for saying that publicly, sir. I appreciate that.
that because and the gentleman didn't know who to contact, so the water was just sitting, and it was mosquitoes, and it's kind of a health hazard at the same time.
No, absolutely.
But, glad we got that corrected.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. All right.
Any other council members have any updates or anything they want to say?
I do. Since Councilman Gibson brought that up, the citizen has really noticed code enforcement. He gets so many compliments from the citizens about the job that he's doing in the city. And honestly, you can ride around and tell. I wish I could meet the guy, because he is really on the job. It looks good. The city is looking real good.
Thank you.
Yep.
On to the next section, consent agenda. All consent agenda items are listed below or considered routine and non-controversial by the city council and will be approved by one motion. However, any city council member or the city manager may remove an item from the consent agenda to allow for discussion and voting on the item or items individually. Mr. City Manager, will you take us through the consent agenda?
Yes, sir. I will. Mayor, thank you. It's a lengthy one, but I think we've discussed every one of these items. So let me walk you through them. Number one, I'm just going to call them by one through whatever number, is the approval of the minutes. And of course, we will make any additions, corrections, or notes that you see fit. Resolution 26 is the purchase of vehicles, and it is authorizing us to get in line to order 3 police cars. We ordered them, we will order them officially after October 1st, but the chief will get in line to get his. We did the exact same thing last year, and we received the car in service about 2 weeks ago, Chief?
Yes, sir.
About 2 weeks ago, we received the cars. We got them in the Q4 for last October, it may have been September, October, don't remember what month it was.
Yes, sir. Actually, last year we did this in July, so we're a month behind.
Okay.
And we received the car March, and then with upfitting and everything, we got it back and in service by 2 weeks ago.
And the other vehicle on here is replacing a 1998 a Jeep Cherokee that has well exceeded its lifespan, 27 years. It's just, and that vehicle we will purchase as soon as we can. We're looking for a small truck. As we look at our operations, if they don't need full-size vehicles, we're going to smaller vehicles. And you can find smaller vehicles, but trying to find a white small truck is difficult. So we're looking at Ford, Chevrolet, and ideally the Maverick seems to be getting really, really good gas mileage and good service. So that's the other one on there. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 27, and that's I'm sorry.
Question real quick on that. So that Cherokee that we have for 27 years,
Yeah.
is it still running, or we're just sitting idle or whatever?
It's drivable.
That's a long time.
That's the one that he had at Civic Center.
Without regressing, there's some history there, and I would, if y'all want to call me after the meeting, I'll be happy to share with you some of the history on that vehicle. But thank you. Next item is the Brooks Watson authorizing them. We have a multi-year contract with them, but as required by law, we have to bring it to council every year. So we're asking you to approve that they would continue to be our auditors. Next item is the animal control. Currently, we are paying roughly $1,826 per animal for the city of Waco. They do take our surrenders. We are entering into an agreement with Texas Animal Control Solutions at $500 an animal, and they will come pick them up. Their facility is in the Denton area, I believe, North Texas somewhere. They are legitimate. They have businesses elsewhere. You may see a little bit more than 106 because currently they will not take the city of Waco will no longer take a surrender from us if a Bellmead citizen brings it. But even if we do, it's still going to be much, much cheaper. We anticipate the savings to be somewhere between $100,000 and $130,000. And if it doesn't work out, we'll go back. This is not a reflection on anything Waco has done. Waco has been very supportive, very helpful. It's strictly a business decision that we can no longer afford. Next item is the resolution setting the public hearing for the council. The next several items are very routine. You see them every year. And we will hold the public hearing on the budget on September 9th, 2025. Next resolution is Resolution 30, which at that same time, we will hold a meeting and a session to approve a memorandum and resolution setting the proposed rate at 0.382358 per $100 valuation for the 2025-26 fiscal year. Resolution 31 is discussion and approval of a memorandum approving the City of Bellmead investment report, which we do that. This has been approved by all the regulatory outside folks that need to look at it. Resolution 32 is consider approval of memorandum resolution approving the City of Bellmead investment policy. And as you can tell, I am extremely proud of the way Ms. Evan and Ms. Jimenez, Samantha, the Assistant Finance Director, go through this process and seek bids from banks and stagger our funding so that should a disaster ever happen and we need emergency funding, we can always get to some of our funds. And then the next item is Resolution 33, which is financial governance report from the City of Bellmead. That is what we follow, and it pretty much aligns with state law. The next item is Resolution 34, consider approval of the Code of Conduct, which we got direction from last year. And with that item, we asked for your approval. And because this is an important item, it is not restricting anything that council can do that is not in the city charter. And because I know each of you are unique in your own ways, you pick the color pen you want to sign it in if you so choose. I got you a purple one. So anyway,
Excuse me.
I asked for a motion to approve those, but anyway, we'll address anything you want.
I think there was some discussion last month about Article 2025-34. There was, and I know I wasn't here, but there was some things discussed about what we could do and couldn't do in changing things. So I would like to remove that tonight so that I can get an idea of what was discussed about what council can and can't do with that code of conduct.
Which section are you looking at in particular? You remember?
Well, it's not that I don't remember, but I had a discussion about some things that you could do or that.
Okay.
I'd rather not discuss it out here, but I like to remove that for the discussion.
Sure.
Let's do.
Mayor, are you okay with that removal?
Yes.
Okay. So we're voting on all the items with the exception of the item on the code of conduct that has been asked to be pulled from the consent.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So thank you. I'm sorry?
Can I ask a question? Do we move this one month, or do we move it two?
Just 1 month should be enough.
Yeah, I agree with that. I wasn't at that, the budget or the workshop on that as well. I just talked to Shannon about getting the audio on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought, cause I needed more time anyway, because honestly, I couldn't vote in good favor because I hadn't read through the entire, it's pretty lengthy. And then with being, teaching and prepared to go back to school and things like that, I thank you for pulling that, because that'll give me more time to go.
Just 1 month should be good.
Yeah, I've read through it
Question
myself,
was,
so I'm pretty familiar with it.
I'm sorry.
I've read through it myself. I'm pretty familiar with it. I just like to hear the workshop itself as it was presented. I guess that was last month.
Did we record that by video, or did we record it by audio?
What are you talking, which part?
The board meeting that we had.
The workshop.
The workshop was recorded by audio and video.
Okay,
Everything we do is recorded by audio and video,
okay.
unless it's broken. Okay, so you have those items. Mayor, if you want to take a motion for them, we'll go with you direct us.
Can I get a motion for items 1 through 9 on the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve 1 through 9 on the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? Will the city secretary please poll the council?
Councilman Gibson,
Yes.
Councilman Moore,
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Coleman,
Yes.
Mayor Winget,
Yes.
Councilman Cleveland,
Yes.
and Councilman Bainbridge.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
And then we'll put item 10 on next month's consent agenda?
Yes.
Thank you.
Put on the agenda.
Let me get some feedback. If I get enough feedback that I feel I can bring it, will you give me the latitude to at least, if I don't get enough feedback, to postpone it till October?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate your time as always. So,
We're up next for the budget workshop.
Ms. Evans, I know you're losing your voice, but if you will please give it your best effort.
I am fine. So, good evening, council, mayor and council. I know y'all look forward to these budget workshops every year. So we'll start with the general fund. So these are the revenues for the general fund. I want to point out to you, so what's really important here is that the general fund is supported by 3 key revenues. It is sales tax, property taxes, and charges for services. And what's significant about that is all those other revenue sources, there's a lot of them, but they don't make much impact. They don't bring in much revenue to support all the functions that the general fund services. And the charges for services, what that is the garbage fees. So that's the fees that all the residents, all the commercial vendors, all the commercial folks pay to have their garbage picked up. And that's pretty much directly offset by the fees that we pay Frontier Waste to have those services. And as you can see, sales tax makes up the bulk of our revenue sources at 40%. Property taxes is not even a third. It's at 23%. So as I've told you before, if the economy has a downturn and our sales taxes take a plummet, then, our city's in a world of hurt. Fortunately, that hasn't happened. As you can see here, I think y'all have seen this before, but our sales taxes have been steadily increasing. We have outperformed the state since 2021 because, Bellmead's doing great things here. We did have fiscal year 2022, which was an outlier. Bellmead does not have oil and gas. Wish we did, but we don't. State of Texas does, which is why they had such a high peak in 22. The economy did begin to slow in 2024. You can see that downturn with that red line and the green. What is wrong with the mic? It keeps cutting out. Okay. And it has been going down. We are expecting it to start increasing a little bit more in 2026, and we are projecting a 4% increase. These are the ad valorem taxes. These as well have been increasing. A lot of it is due to y'all and your investment in the city of Bellmead. You'll know that you'll see on a slide coming up that there's $14 million in new development in the city this year. There was $12 million here. A lot of that is because of the infrastructure improvements that has been going on in the city with the Economic Development Corporation. And so you're seeing that reflected in these ad valorem tax increases. What I do want to point out to you is, though, our property taxes, the revenue is about $2.2 million. That does not even cover all of the public safety expenses in the general fund. So it covers fire, suppression and investigation, police communications, and a portion of police animal control. It does not cover the patrol division, which is a couple of $1 million. So we're not even covering all of public safety with the property taxes. And then we have permit fees. I'm showing this to you not because it's a large revenue source, because quite frankly, it's not. It is 2% of our total revenues for the general fund. But what I want you to see is how much those revenues have increased. And the reason that it's increasing is because we have new development coming into the city. We have commercial development coming into the city, but even more importantly, we have residential redevelopment coming into the city. And when they're doing that, they're pulling permits. And I think, again, that's a reflection on everything that y'all are, as a council, are promoting in the city and all of the cleanup that Mr. Morris's department is doing. And that's making people want to move into Bellmead. They're wanting to develop in Bellmead. But again, you can see we have $190,000 worth of revenue generated by licenses and permits. That does not cover the cost of the community development department, which is a little bit less than $500,000. So what I'm letting you know is that those fees, we often get accused of, you're just trying to raise revenue. You know, those fees are just to create a revenue source for the city. Well, that's not exactly true. Those revenues are to cover the cost of providing the service, and right now, they're not covering the cost of providing the service. Municipal court. Municipal court, again, is not a large revenue source for the city. It's a very small percentage of revenues. The reason I'm showing you this is because this is the law enforcement arm of our city. They enforce they're the judicial branch of our city. And you can see that our fines and fees have been increasing over the years. But again, here you can see the fines and forfeitures, about $276,000. And in this department, those actually do cover the cost of administering the municipal court. So we're doing well in this area here. These are the general fund expenditures. Now, our budget is balanced, but what I want you to see here is you can see the main expenditure categories. Solid waste is at 16.34%, and if you'll compare that to the revenue side where we had the charges for services, those are direct offsets. And then you have the police department. They take a majority of our resources. So they are 39.17% of the budget. And then the other department that gobbles up the rest of the resources is the fire department at 17.76%. So between those three functions, that's 73.27% of the fund budget. There's really not a lot left over for community development, code enforcement, building maintenance. administration, or even city council. It's all pretty much being used up by these two guys, public safety, and then solid waste, which is the garbage collection. And this again, this is the expenditures by category. I'm just, instead of doing it by department here, I'm doing it by what the youth. So we have personnel at 69% of the budget, and then the refuse contract again, 16%. Utilities, which is our electricity, our water, our just general electric utilities to keep the lights on, is 7%. So what you can see by this is that the majority of our general fund budget is spent on public safety, personnel.
Which is pretty standard throughout the whole industry.
Yes.
There's nothing unusual
Yes.
about this.
Yes, it is. And what you need to know from that is look at this slide right here. This is a bragging slide. And I think y'all need to give yourself a pat on the back when you look at the slide. Crime rates are down, and they're not just down, they're down dramatically. Look at the violent crime rate in 2017. That's that huge peak on that very top slide. You look at calendar year 2017, we were way up there, really, really high. And what you can see is every year thereafter, it's just going down. And then you look at the property crime rate slide, which is the slide below that, and we had a very high year in calendar year 2015. And it, again, is steadily going down. And I think that is, that's a tribute to the fact that all of the resources that y'all have been giving to staff, and then the city manager, and then, of course, the police department for all the hard work that they are doing out on the streets every day, combating the crime. And then we have animal control. Y'all just approved a contract today or earlier with TACS, which is going to decrease our animal control expenditures. We were estimating about $190-something thousand in animal control expenditures this year, but with this contract, we expect to save, around $130,000 of that. So that's a really good deal for the citizens of Bellmead. Okay, I'm going to have to go to my slide for this. Could see it? Hold on. Okay, these are the substandard properties, and some of y'all that are on the Economic Development Corporation Board have already seen this slide, but for the rest of you, this is the hard work that the Code Enforcement Building Department is out there every day to enforce compliance. So what you can see on this is for fiscal year 2025, they have already red tagged 7 buildings. They have set 1 court case, and they've done 4 demolitions, and 3 have been repaired. Now, this slide hasn't been updated in a month, so they may have actually done more. But you can see in 2024, they actually red tagged 11 buildings, and they had 10 court cases and 6 demolitions. So they're very active in the code enforcement and building department with these substandard properties. And abatement of these properties is really enhancing the city's attractiveness and driving more development and redevelopment in the city. Okay, do y'all have any questions so far on the general fund? Yes, sir.
Is there any way we can get an itemized report on that for view?
Itemized report on which section?
Probably all of it, if it's possible. That's your, not no rush, but I would like to see it.
The budget is right there.
There you go.
Is that what you were looking for, sir?
Yeah, every line item is in there.
All right, perfect. Are there any other questions? Okay, then moving on to the Economic Development Fund. And I apologize that some of you have already seen this in the Economic Development Board meeting. So there are no major projects in this fund this year, but what we have is the facade grants. We're continuing the $100,000 for the facade grant program. And then we have the $150,000 transfer out to the Capital Improvement Fund to demolish unsafe housing and beautify and improve the city. And that is the money that we're actually using to demolish those houses in that previous slide right here. So if the city demolishes it, they're using this funding. And then we place a lien on the property, and then once the property sells or transfers ownership, we will recoup those funds. So this slide right here shows the result of the investment that the EDC has been making into the infrastructure in the city of Bellmead. All of the new development that has been coming in. And you can see that it has really started in 2021 with around 7.5 million. We had 12 million last year and then 14 million in new investment this year, and we're anticipating that to continue. We have several new projects upcoming, which will go on the books in this next year. Do you have any questions over that section? No? Okay. All right. Ad valorem taxes, the fun part. So this right here is a listing of all of the ad valorem taxes, the total tax rates in Bellmead from 2017 until current with our proposed tax rate. You can see that in 2021, our tax rate was almost 38 cents. It was 37.7854. We are proposing here 38.2358. So it's just a little bit above what it was 2021. If you remember back in 2022, we did lower the rate and said that we would have to increase it at some point. The majority of actually all of the increase that we're projecting for this year, that 4 cents will be earmarked for street improvements. And then this is the tax structure. It's how the tax rate, how it's broken down. So about 17% of our appraised value is tax exempt, and that's about $600,000 of taxes lost. And then about $1 million of the taxable valuation only produces about $3,750. I know that when we see here, we added $1 million to the tax roll. That sounds like a lot, but it really doesn't generate much as far as new taxes. And then every penny on the tax rate adds about $76,000 worth of tax revenue. And then our tax rate is composed of 3 parts. Previously, I would tell you that the tax rate is composed of 2 parts, but last year we added 1. So now we have the maintenance and operations, and I can't see this, so I'm going to go to we have maintenance and operations at 28.9899, and then the streets capital improvements, which is 4 cents, and then interest and sinking, which is 5.2459. And then that interest and sinking, we are required to set that rate at that level because that actually supports our debt service. If we don't do it, then we can't pay our debt. And then this just puts dollar values to what I was telling you earlier. So you can see what our total appraised value, and then you can see how the cap on the homestead increases, lowers that. And then you get to the total assessed. And then you see the exemptions to get to net taxable, which is 83% of the total appraised. And then this graphic here simply shows you what the street tax fund, how that's working. So in 2025, y'all allocated 2 cents to the street tax fund, which the tax levy came in at about 144,000, earned a little bit of interest. And then this year, we're proposing putting 4 cents into that street tax fund. And then we have on here, if you were to raise it again next year by another penny to be 5 cents, and you can see how that would grow the fund over the years. We would be in 2028, 1.3 million. And then in 2034, we would actually be sitting at 5 million to do additional street projects. And you can see what those street projects look like when you look at the Wheeler and Laclede intersection that the city manager showed you earlier in his city manager reports. And I would be more than happy to answer any questions that y'all may have.
On page 17, where you have the street capital improvements, where it has the 4 cents.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
actually 6 cents from the 2 cents last year and then the 4 if we approve coming up?
No, it would simply be the 4 cents.
Okay.
Do y'all have any other questions?
Do we have the numbers for the disconnect and reconnect and the cancel checks that came in? Do we have a way of determining how much revenue we're getting from that?
Actually, I have that in my budget. Hold on just one second.
You want to know the number of connects and disconnects, water, what, I mean,
No, what, if we go out and disconnect and you have to reconnect, what is the revenue that we're getting for it?
He's wanting to know what your reconnect fee is for turning your water back on. He's wanting to know what the revenue the city's making a year off of that.
Our total delinquent penalties is budgeted at $130,700. That includes disconnect fees, reconnect fees, late penalties. I actually have a graphic. If you will look on page, let me see here. Should be one in my budget book. $27. If you look on page 129,
That is your proposed?
Yes,
Is that
sir.
where that is?
Yes, sir. If you look on page 129 of your proposed budget book, you can see that in 2017, the city of Bellmead actually did not have late penalties at all. And what you can see from that is that the number of late notices and cutoffs that the city of Bellmead had was tremendous, over 20,000. And as we started implementing late penalty, the number of cutoffs and late notices have dramatically decreased. So although revenue has increased, the amount of non-compliance that the city has had has decreased. And I do have the actual numbers. They're in my office.
Can you send those to us? Good, thanks. And that is also gonna include return checks.
I do not have the number of the return check or.
Anybody else have any questions? Thank you, Ms. Evans.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
She's always very thorough.
Thank you.
Next, we will move on to the regular agenda. Ordinances. Ordinance 2025-008, consideration and approval of an ordinance amending the master fee schedule attached as Exhibit A for the City of Bellmead Code of Ordinance Appendix B, repealing all ordinances as part of inclusion in the code and providing for an effective date. First and second reading. Do any council members have any questions? Or, sorry, City Manager, will you take us
No.
through what the changes are?
Sure. The changes are we've updated the water and sewer rates. We have updated the commercial garbage rates. We have added an animal control surrender fee. If somebody wishes to surrender an animal, that will be $250. Utility tampering and repair fees have been enhanced so that we can recover costs. And I'll go on, and speaking of that, we're having some issues with that. When people are getting their water turned off after notices and warnings, we are literally having people that are placing a vehicle on top of the water meter and putting sand on top of the water meter so that we cannot get to the turnoff, which is now requiring us to send two people, one as a worker and one as a witness, to make sure that we're not accused of tampering with their vehicles. But that is some of the things that we have to deal with when people are getting their water cut off. And that's not the first time we've had somebody literally place vehicles on top of water meters to avoid it.
Were we able to get to it?
Oh, we got to it. Man, we'll get to it. It just takes a little bit more work. Planning and zoning fees have been adjusted to cover the costs. Permit fees, the same thing. Park rentals have been basically adjusted to cover costs. And then the memorial bench program, because the cost of the benches are getting a little bit higher. But this is pretty straightforward. And again, the city, I know how the finance director feels about it, how the assistant finance director feels about it, how I feel about it. We want you to go through the master fee schedule, and you can answer anybody's question about what the fees are. And we have completely pulled everything out of the ordinances, and we just refer to the fee schedule. It is just way too hard to read an ordinance and determine what the fee is. So this is one of those documents that I would love for you to just keep handy somewhere where you can get to it when somebody asks you a question, or they can literally go online and click on the search button, master fee schedule. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
The 250 surrender fee, if we're contracting with DFW, is that for housing costs, and how quick are they coming up here to retrieve the animals?
They will come here whenever we need them to. We just call them. And it's a $100 trip fee. That's it, whether it's one animal or 10 animals.
And we're still housing 72 hours in the kennel we have?
We will house the animals that we can try to adopt or that obviously have a chip where we can return them to them. Our number one goal is to return every animal to its owner.
Okay.
Our number 2 priority would be to try to foster those animals and see if somebody will foster them. Our last resort is if we can't do any of that, then we will send them to the shelter.
And when a dog's surrendered, it don't have to be held for 72 hours when its owner surrendered.
That is correct, yeah, when they surrendered. Now, we will still try to foster it first, as animal control does. Am I stating that correctly, Chief?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Does any council members have any more questions? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to consider OR 2025-008.
Is there a second?
Second as written.
Is there any discussion? Will the city secretary please poll the council?
Mayor Pro Tem Coleman,
Yes.
Councilman Moore,
Yes.
Mayor Winget,
Yes.
Councilman Cleveland,
Yes.
Councilman Bainbridge,
Yes.
and Councilman Gibson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Ordinance 2025-008. Second reading. Do any council members have any questions? Is there a motion?
So moved as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Will the city secretary please poll the council?
Mayor Winget,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Coleman,
Yes.
Councilman Moore,
Yes.
Councilman Cleveland,
Yes.
Councilman Bainbridge,
Yes.
and Councilman Gibson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
With there being no further business on the
Mr.
agenda.
Mayor, can I ask one question? We're looking, and I'm sorry, I should have addressed this. Let me ask one question, sir.
Yes, sir.
Please. We're going to volunteer you first, but do we have at least one more count? What we would like to eventually go to, which I think will make your lives a lot easier, we would like to issue you tablets and then have screens here. That way, when you come to a council meeting, not only will you have the current agenda, but you'll be able to reference back all the agendas that are in the past. I'm going to see if the mayor will agree to at least a tablet and see if one or two more of you will at least to try a tablet so that we can get away from these thick documents and literally give it to you on your iPad. And then we would have larger screens where you could literally plug in your iPad and have it on a facing screen. Is that something you would like us to look at? I don't want to force it.
I'm in.
I would love it. It gets rid of all this clutter, can reference back to stuff so much easier, and it also helps our city go green.
If we do that, the only thing I would ask is that you would support us. We don't want to print it and produce it. If you don't want a computer, fine, we'll still print one, but
If we have a tablet, we can get it printed ourselves if we want it in black and white.
yeah, okay. All right, can we try a couple? So
Please.
who are the two or three that volunteered?
Oh, I will try one.
Well, don't put me in that position if y'all.
I think it looks like you got,
Who doesn't?
looks like
But-
you got
but yeah,
at least
who doesn't-
5. We ain't heard from
Well, can-
Councilman Moore.
Can we at least try a couple first and let me,
I'll be down to try it.
okay, then, you know what? I'll try the mayor. Can I just volunteer the mayor and the mayor pro tem first?
Please.
Okay, I have no authority to do this, so you know. Okay, we'll try to get that, and I think it'll make your lives a lot easier. It'll be a hard transition. Yep, I'm sorry.
Thank you. I had before we close, can we, put House Bill 24 and House Bill 785 on the next agenda for discussion? 24.
I don't have a problem with it if it's okay, city manager.
We're already starting to look at it. Yeah, we're
I
aware
would
of it.
like to be more updated on that as well, because I wasn't aware of that one. There's been a lot of passing in the Texas Senate and Legislative this year that's,
Yeah, we will, I'll probably give you an update on that before the next council meeting. Let's just, yeah, let me
Awesome.
do that. Okay, that way you have it. It's not, we get chance to study and read these. It's not fair for me to give you that information and ask you to look at it. I will try to get that information to you in a couple of weeks. No, we're actually already talking about,
Planning and Zoning Committee, they talked about that, House Bill 24, right? Last meeting.
24? Was that the number? Oh,
24.
You had this,
no, the one that,
code?
785?
House Bill 24 and House Bill 24 dealing with the zoning part, and like the young lady brought up, you got House Bill 785. So I was wondering, was that,
Sure.
did they get brought up at the last?
24 covers the redistricting, right?
No. That's
we'll look
why-
at it.
Yeah, that's why I think we need to be
Is it
more
HB or is it a House bill or a Senate bill?
24.
House bill, okay.
And both of them went into effect on, will go into effect on September 1.
Okay, sure, absolutely.
Thank you. Anything else, anybody? Will there be no further business on the agenda? Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make the motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:42.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
City Secretary, will you please poll the council?
Councilman Gibson,
Yes.
Councilman Bainbridge,
Yes.
Councilman Cleveland,
Yes.
Councilman Moore,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Coleman,
Yes.
and Mayor Wingate.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Meeting adjourned at 7:43.